Good evening and Merry Christmas. We're grateful that you've joined us. It's wonderful to share this special evening with people near and far, people we've known forever, and those who may be joining us for the first time. Christmas Eve is a magical and spiritual time for many of us. It's a time to share traditions and spiritual practices with family and friends. A time to share the ancient stories and to listen to angels sing. A time to revisit the miracle of birth and to strengthen our resolution to work for hope and healing in our world. We gather as people from many cultures, many faith traditions, many spiritual paths. Yet on this special night, we come together to remember the message of the Nativity, that there is peace, there is love, there is hope, and there is light. They're all inside each of us, and by sharing these blessings, we move toward a kinder world. So let's be together now in the spirit of Christmas.
Did you see it in the sky this past week? How lovely it was to see Saturn and Jupiter aligned in a great conjunction in the sky. People haven't seen this sight since 1623. Astronomers have noted that around the time of the birth of Jesus, these planets were similarly aligned. It was a lovely sight, it was, those planets. Yet a more lovely sight would be to see you gathered here tonight, as is our custom. Instead, I look at a mostly empty room on this Christmas Eve, and there's kind of an emptiness in my heart as well. It's been a hard year. It's been a hard year. So if you're hurting, if you feel alone, If you feel hopeless or helpless, I hope you'll realize tonight, at least to some degree, you're not alone. You're not truly alone. May tonight's service remind us that great love is born into this world, even though the world pays little notice. And yet we can notice. And as the ancient stories are told tonight, as music and word are woven together, may it remind you of the deeper truths and higher hopes that have sustained so many generations through good times, through hard times when war and famine and disease took their grim toll. But tonight and every night, love is born. In our hearts, may we know this to be true. May our service tonight help us to see this star in the heavens of our souls. Welcome, everybody.
Now, when Jesus was born in Bethlehem of Judea in the days of Herod the king, behold, wise men from the east came to Jerusalem, saying, "Where is he who has been born King of the Jews? For we have seen his star in the east and have come to worship him." When Herod the king heard this, he was troubled, and all Jerusalem with him. And assembling all the chief priests and scribes of the people, he inquired of them where the Christ was to be born. They told him, "In Bethlehem of Judea, for so it is written by the prophet, 'And you, O Bethlehem, in the land of Judah, are by no means least among the rulers of Judah. From you shall come a ruler who will govern my people Israel.'" Then Herod summoned the wise men secretly and ascertained from them what time the star appeared. And he sent them to Bethlehem, saying, "Go and search diligently for the child, and when you have found him, bring me word, that I too may come and worship him." When they had heard the king, they went their way, and lo, the star which they had seen in the east went before them, till it came to rest over the place where the child was. When they saw the star, they rejoiced exceedingly with great joy. And going into the house, they saw the child with Mary his mother, and they fell down and worshipped him. Then, opening their treasures, they offered him gifts, gold and frankincense and myrrh. And being warned in a dream not to return to Herod, they departed to their country by another way.
It came upon a midnight clear, that glorious song of old, from angels bending near the earth to touched their harps of gold. Peace on the earth, go all goodwill, from heaven the news we bring. The world in solemn stillness lay to hear the angels sing. But with the woes of war and strife, the prophet bards foretold, we 'neath the angel strain have rolled 2,000 years of wrong. And we who fight the wars hear not the tidings which they bring. Oh, hush the noise of battle strife, and hear the angels sing. For lo, the days are hastening on, by prophet bards foretold, when with the ever-circling years come round the age of gold, when peace shall over all the earth its ancient splendors fling, and all the world give back the song which now the angels sing.
In those days, Caesar Augustus issued a decree that a census should be taken of the entire Roman world. This was the first census that took place while Quirinius was governor of Syria, and everyone went to their own town to register. So Joseph also went up from the town of Nazareth in Galilee to Judea, to Bethlehem, the town of David, because he belonged to the house and line of David. He went there to register with Mary, who was pledged to be married to him, and was expecting a child. While they were there, the time came for the baby to be born, and she gave birth to her firstborn, a son. She wrapped him in cloths and placed him in a manger, because there was no guest room available for them. And there were shepherds living out in the fields nearby, keeping watch over their flocks at night. An angel of the Lord appeared to them, and the glory of the Lord shone around them, and they were terrified. But the angel said to them, "Do not be afraid. I bring you good news that will cause great joy for all the people. Today, in the town of David, a Savior has been born to you. He is the Messiah, the Lord. This will be a sign to you. You will find a baby wrapped in cloths and lying in a manger." Suddenly a great company of the heavenly host appeared with the angel, praising God and saying, "Glory to God in the highest heaven, and on earth, peace to those on whom his favor rests." When the angels had left them and gone into heaven, the shepherds said to one another, "Let us go to Bethlehem and see this thing that has happened, which the Lord has told us about." So they hurried off and found Mary and Joseph and the baby who was lying in the manger. When they had seen him, they spread the word concerning what had been told them about this child, and all who heard it were amazed at what the shepherds said to them. But Mary treasured up all of these things and pondered them in her heart. The shepherds returned, glorifying and praising God for all of the things they had heard and seen, which were just as they had been told.
For so the children come, and so they have been coming. Always the same way they come, born of the seed of a man and a woman.
Each night a child is born, is a holy night, a time for singing, a time for wondering, a time for worshiping. Each night a child is born, is a holy night.
No angels herald their beginnings. No prophets predict their future courses. No wise men see a star to show where to find the babe that will save humankind.
Each night a child is born, is a holy night, a time for singing, a time for wondering, a time for worshiping. Each night a child is born, is a holy night.
Yet each night a child is born is a holy night. Fathers and mothers, sitting beside their children's cribs, feel glory in the sight of a new life beginning. They ask, where and how will this new life end, or will it ever end? Each night a child is born is a holy night, a time for singing, a time for wondering, a time for worshiping.
Each night a child is born, is a holy night, a time for singing, a time for wondering, a time for worshiping. Each night a child is born, is a holy night. Angels we have heard on high, sweetly singing o'er the plains, and the mountains in reply, echoing their joyous strains. Gloria in excelsis Deo. Gloria in excelsis Deo. Shepherds, why this jubilee? Why these songs of happiness? tidings did you see? What glad tidings did you hear? Gloria in excelsis Deo. Gloria in excelsis Deo. See him in a manger laid, whom the angels praise above. Mary, Joseph, lend your aid, while we raise our hearts in love. Gloria in excelsis Deo. Gloria in excelsis Deo.
When I was but a young lad, my father, who worked for the Red Cross, the International Red Cross, he got stationed in Germany. This was in 1957. They were still cleaning up the rubble from World War II. We'd see it when we'd drive around. It was amazing how much still hadn't been fixed after that war. So my first airplane ride took me across the Atlantic to a different world, and it was quite a change. Lots was going on that need not concern us this night, except to say that my life felt mighty unsettled, even grim. That year on Christmas Eve, after everyone had gone to bed, I sat alone in the living room, gazing out the window of our third-floor apartment as the snow gently fell on both sides of the barbed wire fence that separated the U.S. Army base where we lived from the farms that were outside Straubing, Germany. This was near the border of East Germany, where more barbed wire fences separated people. And I sat there all by myself, looking out at the snowfall. We had a great Christmas tree. The smell, the aroma, there's no finer fragrance, especially around this time of year. And I hailed the fragrance of that tree, and my eyes naturally drifted upward towards the angel perched on top. It was a beautiful angel that my mother bought in Heidelberg, I believe it was. And as I gazed up at this wax angel, something happened to me. I still remember it. It's perhaps similar to what happens maybe when a Hindu devotee reverently focuses on one of that tradition's many images of the sacred, and this opens a window to transcendent realms. And so that night, in that room, I saw more than a wax angel. I did. It seemed as though this angel was indeed not just bringing good news, but great good tidings. There was something so pure, so lofty, so wise, so deeply reassuring about her presence. She appeared to me as an emissary from heaven, a heavenly realm, and I was rapt. And the message I received, the wordless message I received from this angel, is that there is something beyond our understanding which transcends the sorrows and the sufferings of this world, so full of angst and anxiety. So be of good cheer. It's really impossible to put into words how moving and reassuring this angel was for me. But she inspired absolute trust, absolute trust. I had no doubts that she was telling me something important. That was a long time ago. A long time ago. That was then, and this is now. And when I look at an angel atop a tree, a wax angel atop a tree, I see a wax angel. I have looked in vain for lo these many years to find an angel as beautifully crafted as she, and how I have longed for that angelic vision. And then came that night, many years later, when I had the beginnings of a new angelic revelation. I had gone to the Kennedy Center in Washington, D.C. They were performing Beethoven's Missa Solemnis, a great choral masterpiece that I knew well and I dearly loved. And as this mighty chorus swelled, I sat wrapped in adoration of all the singers, each one completely dedicated at that moment to singing heavenly music that restored my soul. What a great day it's going to be when I can look over there. I like seeing Kit, but I would like to see a choir with you, Kit. It's going to be a beautiful day when we can have that again, to see Laura out there leading the choir. Well, I remember that chorus, National Symphony Orchestra and this chorus. Whoever the members of that chorus might have been before or after the concert, just regular folks, jaywalkers like the rest of us, I suspect. But while they sang, they were angels. They were pure angels. They were angels. This is very challenging music to sing, and these angels gave it their all, and I was profoundly grateful to them for taking time out of their busy lives to sing like angels for us. Later, if I'd seen any of them on the street, I would have probably just seen them as mere mortals, little suspecting their true angelic identities. So you might get the impression, as we heard the story tonight, the ancient stories, angels, heck, they're supernaturally easy to spot. They swirl down from the dark night sky, effortlessly defying Earth's gravity, announcing the birth of a truly great and loving soul into our too often sad and sorrowful world. You might get the impression that that's how people see angels. However, if you read in the Bible, there are several biblical passages where angels appear, and nobody gets it. Nobody recognizes them. They're none the wiser. Hence, there's an admonition in the book of Hebrews that says, be not forgetful to entertain strangers, for thereby some have entertained angels unawares. Which is to say, simply, angels appear in human forms. They go undetected, and oftentimes it's only later when you realize you saw one. You experienced one. It's only later that you realized that you experienced one. It will help you to spot angels if you have a clear understanding of the primary angelic role. Simply put, angels appear to remind us to be not afraid, and that redeeming love is real. Usually the angels deliver the message by embodying it, because being an angel in human form involves more than mere lip service. And afterwards, you know the angel was true to their angelic calling if you do feel less fear and more love. Another tip is that being an angel, that's not a full-time gig, you know. Angels slip into and out of their role, often quite unexpectedly. One minute, somebody can be acting like an absolute jerk, and then circumstances call them from off duty, and they go into full-bore angel mode. A person goes into angel mode when circumstances draw them out of themselves to focus on the needs of others, so that these others will feel less fear, more love, more sense of connection, more hope, more joy. Nelson Mandela aptly noted the great value of this when he said, there is no greater gift than that of giving of one's time and energy to help others without expecting anything in return. G.K. Chesterton emphasized this point when he noted that angels can fly because they take themselves so lightly. This is another key to the angel role. Angels travel lightly. They're not in it for themselves. Rather, they are focused on making sure that the transforming message gets through. Be not afraid, trust love. Be not afraid, trust love. There are countless ways that angels in human form proclaim their message through words and deeds, through truly listening and understanding, through respecting, through helping, through holding and hugging, hammering, sawing, sewing, singing, cooking, encouraging, giving, loving. The angelic possibilities are limitless. Tonight, by the way, you might like to know, is one of the very best times of the year to spot angels, if you know where to look. If you know where to look. Go out and look into the night sky and gaze heavenward. Look hard. If you need to squint your eyes, do so, but look hard. And do you see the heavenly hosts descending from above, proclaiming, "Fear not, behold, I bring you good tidings of great joy, which shall be to all people"? Do you see those angels? I don't. I don't see them. I just see the night sky. I just see the night sky. Perhaps you're looking in the wrong place then, maybe. Rather, try looking down. Look at this earth and all that dwell therein. Consider the great fears that consume too many and the lack of love that too many experience. Consider the many forms of suffering, near and far, especially during this hard time. Envision this in your mind's eye. The world, all the people in it. Take your time to think and feel. Become aware of stirrings within your own heart, a yearning desire to help remove fear and prove love true. Your inner angel is speaking to you. You're being called from off duty. Where and for whom? Just pay attention, and you'll know. Will you join me in a prayer? Is the prayer next? O Holy Spirit of all creation, source of never-failing love and infinite compassion, may we feel your presence in our midst right now. On this most special night when we remember the birth of one who so faithfully manifested your Spirit in our midst, may we feel our kinship with all creation, with all our sisters and brothers of all faiths, with all living beings, and resolve to live so as to honor and strengthen the bond of love amongst us. And I invite you now to become aware of the light and love within you that seeks expression. Listen for the prayers coming from within your own heart on this high and holy night. What are your prayers for our hurting world? Take a moment to consider all that is transpiring and let your Christmas prayer for the world form in your heart. Let me pause now in silence that you may offer your own prayers.
The first Noel, the angel did say, was to certain poor shepherds in fields as they lay, in fields where they lay keeping their sheep on a cold winter's night that was so deep. Noel, 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 born is the King of Israel. They looked up and saw a star shining in the east, beyond them far, and to the earth it gave great light, and so it continued both day and night. Noel, 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 born is the King of Israel. And by the light of that same star, three magi came from a country far to seek a king was their intent, and to follow the star wherever it went. Noel, 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 born is the King of Israel.
On this special night, when we spread the light and warmth of our candles, let's also spread the light and warmth of our generosity. Unitarian author Charles Dickens wrote, "At this festive season of the year, it is more than usually desirable that we should make some slight provision for the poor and destitute who suffer greatly at the present time. Many thousands are in want of common necessaries. Hundreds of thousands are in want of common comforts." Rev Rick is aware of several families in need of our support. We ask you for contributions to the minister's discretionary fund so that Rev Rick, with the support of our congregation and friends, may make some slight provisions for those in want of common necessaries, common comforts. For information on how to donate, please go to our website. When the song of the angels is stilled, when the star in the sky is gone, when the kings and princes are home, when the shepherds are back with their flocks, the work of Christmas begins. To find the lost, to heal the broken, to feed the hungry, to release the prisoner, to rebuild the nations, to bring peace among the people, to make music in the heart.
Peace, peace, peace on earth and good will to all. This is a time for joy. This is a time for love. Now let us all sing together of peace, peace, peace on earth. Peace, peace, peace on earth and good will to all. This is a time for joy. This is a time for love. Now let us all sing together of peace, peace, peace on earth. Peace, peace, peace on earth and good will to all. This is a time for joy. This is a time for love. Now let us all sing together of peace, peace, peace on earth.
Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright, round on Virgin Mother and Child, holy infant, so tender and mild, sleep in heavenly peace, sleep in heavenly peace. Silent night, holy night, shepherds wake at the sight, pouring stream from Jerusalem. silent night, holy night, child of God, love's true light, radiant beams from thy holy face, with the dawn of redeeming grace, sleep in heaven together, sleep in heavenly peace on
Light a candle in the darkness, and you pierce the gloom. Light a candle in the shadows, and love fills the room. Light a candle amid a sadness, and stars come to birth. Light a candle on Christmas Eve, and you mingle heaven and earth. Merry Christmas, everyone. Merry Christmas.
Thank you.